What up, people? Welcome to our live stream. Today, we'll be announcing the winners for the December Art Dare, and we'll also be announcing the February Art Dare today. And if you would like to learn how to turn your artistic weakness into your strength, definitely check out artprof.org, where we have lots of free resources, tutorials, critiques, pro development, and all that cool stuff. So, Clara, why don't you get us started for today?
Yeah, the December Art Dare was to create artist memes on being an artist, art history, or contemporary art. The first artist we're going to look at is Spirit Guide, who is having trouble choosing colors. And Spirit Guide says, memes have always brought me so much comfort, humor, opportunities to connect to others. I sometimes make my own memes to share with friends, but to create memes, especially about my artist journey, was in it of itself an adventure and a half. And Spirit Guide was very productive and created memes that are from Andrea Mantegna's Dead Christ, I'm the person of the year, goals for Art Prof in the future. And these are just so much fun, Jordan.
I love that one. This one especially kind of makes me laugh because when I was a little kid, Bow was my favorite rapper. He was the only person I was allowed to listen to. So to see him pop up on a meme like this is just it just makes me laugh a lot. It's great.
Thank you, Spirit Guide.
Gosh. I love Alex's face. Alex's face, he's like, okay.
He's agreeing with me about fondness. Oh my god. You guys, I haven't watched Jane Eyre with Michael Fassbender in a long time. I had to take a little break because I was going a little overboard. And I watched it last night. Oh my god. It was so good. It's just fantastic. We've got Dexter's Laboratory. And I'm very proud, Spirit Guide, tentor fascia lata, one of my favorite muscles on the human anatomy. How about this, Jordan?
I like this so much. I'm gonna draw, and you won't get any panic attacks, right? I think that's classic. That is so funny, and the faces just themselves, just it says so much. It says so much. I think it's brilliant.
And Madam X, John Singer Sargent painting. I got to see this painting in real life because he had an exhibition at the MFA in Boston. And I mean, she's rocking it. I just love her. She's incredible. How about this?
Use references. I think that's brilliant. I really get a kick out of these because it's so simple, but yet they're so relatable compared like concerning the artist journey that we're all living, and just the shout from the mountaintop use references is excellent.
I also think memes are a really nice entry point for people. They're fun and they're casual, but there's a lot of art history in here from Spirit Guide.
Mhm.
And I just think that's fantastic because I think learning art history oftentimes is intimidating for a lot of people. And when you deliver it that way, that could be the difference between somebody never knowing about Madam X and going and looking it up. Oh,
Mhm.
this is so you, Jordan.
Yeah, I squint quite a bit when I'm trying to draw. Apparently, I have my drawing face, which I don't know what Claire's talking about, but I have it evidently. So there's that.
My drawing face is very grumpy. Sentience says, I remember you saying you feel like you didn't feel like you got meme humor that much 2 months ago. Do you think you're more of a meme person now? Nah. I just am not in the habit, number one, of looking at them, and number two, sending them to all my friends, which is apparently what Kat does.
I do that all the time.
You see, I never do that.
Yeah, I that's actually what I'm known for. I will find a meme and I know like 8 people who will find it funny, so I'll send it to them. But my problem is when I'm on a meme streak, I'll find like 10 at the same time. So I'll just send it to everyone. And then suddenly there's like 12 things in everyone's inbox. And they're like, Jordan, stop it. They're like, really like, stop. Or they wait like a week until they have free time and then they'll like laugh at everything I sent them.
Yeah, you're always sending me Doctor Strange memes.
Yep, exactly. Doctor Strange memes, anything with Benedict Cumberbatch, anything with Wolverine, I always send to you.
All right, next artist is Julia Kremshofer, Working on the art dare was pure fun at first. Later, I also saw the power of a meme to help us to voice our problems. Exactly. In terms of neglect from society, development of hard work, at the same time to overcome them together as we are connected by laughter. I just really think laughter is such a important part of learning. And the thing is, I never thought about it that way because I taught at RISD where we were very serious and very focused. But people have more fun and they are more willing to learn when something's funny.
I think so. I think humor disarms people, and it's always so much easier to get people to know you when you can just make them laugh, and you just kind of lower the defenses a bit. And art can sometimes be seen as very snooty and upper crusty and all that stuff. So when we can make memes like this and make people laugh and add that fun element, I think it makes it all the better.
And I love how Julia hid all of these little art things into the composition. There's the little palette in the lower left-hand corner. And then isn't this adorable? The brushes that are going upwards with the coral.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's so fun because at first you don't really see the art stuff and it takes a little bit of a scavenger hunt to find those things.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great.
All right, next artist we have is Paula V. Fernandez, and we've got this play on Roy Lichtenstein, who was a pop artist. And the woman is saying, "Why, Beeple, darling, this NFT is a masterpiece. My, soon you'll have all of Christie's clamoring for your art." So we have contemporary art with Beeple, the person that sold the $68 million JPEG at Christie's, but we also have Roy Lichtenstein from pop art. Isn't that cool?
That's cool. It's like its own multiverse. Gotta have Marvel reference in there somewhere. But you guys see this stuff on my walls. I mean, come on, you knew that was coming.
Paula says, "I was really eager to try creating one based on a classic artwork. And the title of the Lichtenstein painting is Masterpiece. Comic style struck me as a great basis. And Paula did a contemporary spin by a commentary on NFTs, which, as we know, are very hot right now. In particular, Beeple, also known as Mike Winkleman's groundbreaking sale for 69 million at Christie's. I just love this because oftentimes contemporary art and art history are treated very separately, and it's wonderful to see them come together.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fabulous way to kind of it's like it's a social commentary basically on what we're experiencing in the art world, and by taking all these different elements, I think it actually kind of pinpoints all the things that we're concerned about or are talking about today, or at least in the last 2 or 3 years, and putting it into a single frame, which I think is a huge accomplishment.
Because certainly there are similar themes throughout art history and contemporary art, but they get iterated in different ways. And I just think this is such a great combination of the two. All right, next artist is Anastasia, who is saying, "When you draw figures from references and someone calls you a girl who can only draw feet, hands, and strange naked people is unable to draw from imagination."
Ah, the struggle. The struggle. That girl looks so distressed too. I feel bad for her. The poor thing.
Anastasia says, "Made a couple of memes unrelated to art in the past, but only with art means I discovered a hilarious possibility of a meme to connect people." Well, because memes are all about references. I mean, we've seen this picture of this girl for a long, long time, but then you put it in the context of figure drawing, and the nerd in me just is so happy.
Yeah. No, it's excellent, and the thing I love about memes is you can have so many different contexts, but the faces themselves or the image itself doesn't change, and it's hilarious. It's like it's recycling a joke a million times, and it always works. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I love this one about attending figure drawing classes. Fail to make out whether they're stains from charcoal and purple, bruises from fighting with other artists for the better place in the studio. Well, thank goodness we've never had a fight break out in any classroom I have ever taught. But I feel like another side of artist memes is we just have so many problems as artists, and this is the way for us to express that frustration.
Yeah, I think it's fun too because not most non-artists don't understand the struggle. Like I was trying to explain to someone years ago the concept of a painting shirt, like a shirt that can just get paint or whatever on it, and they didn't understand. Like you're wasting good clothing. I'm like, oh, you just don't get it. You don't get it.
Oh, Anastasia is live with us here in the chat. Welcome, Anastasia. I'm so excited to see your stuff. I mean, we love showing off our community. That's one of the reasons why these Art Dare streams are so fun. And I just think it's so great. I'm looking at all of these comments. Oh, Paula is here live in the chat as well. By the way, Anna says you are definitely the person of the year. Thank you. And we've got some prizes to give out. Honorable mention goes to Paula Fernandez. And the prize winner is Spirit Guide. You were so productive, Spirit Guide. We just were so impressed by the quantity, and Michael Fassbender hopes too.
This meme was excellent. I just think it's your face, Alex's face, the photo. It's gold. It's gold. But I want to see it circulating my Instagram on more places than just the Art Prof and Art Prof family page. I just want to see it everywhere now.
Okay, we have an Art Prof share today. That is where you create artwork in response to our content. And this is somebody who did the portrait track. Our tracks are a sequence of video lessons and prompts that you can do at your own pace. And we have today the portrait track from Clara, who says, been drawing a long time. However, I've been a bit timid about portraits. And it was so much fun doing the prompts, although they were challenging. Going to do them again. I stepped out of my monochrome comfort zone very clumsily, dipped my fingers into color. There's still a lot of work ahead. I'm glad to have these resources to guide me. Well, Jordan, oftentimes people just feel like they want to get better at something like portraits, but they don't know where to start.
Yeah, I think it's always best to start small and start with something that's a little bit more guided, like the portrait track. And I think by kind of walking through it step by step, it automatically, or maybe not automatically, but it will slowly kind of fizzle out the fear and the concern because at the end of the day, it's marks on a piece of paper or on a canvas or on a screen. It's the same kind of process, but it's just a different image you're creating. And so I'm glad that you overcame your insecurities and were able to do a lot of work with this.
And this is fantastic. This is an exercise in the portrait track where you draw a portrait, but you have to draw a skull inside the portrait to really understand where the various parts of the face line up with the bony structures. And oh man, Clara, you did a fantastic job here. I can see you visually lining up those structures. And we also have the palette knife painting. This is a really hard prompt because number one, a palette knife is a very awkward tool. And number two, it's just an inherently messy material. I mean, you don't like messy materials, Jordan.
No, I've always been known as the guy who would wear gloves when painting or using charcoal or pastel. I just like, no, I don't want that. That's why I work with pencils and digital stuff now.
And Clara, we know from your statement that you were dipping into color and you did a great job on the flesh tones, getting muted colors. I love that little tint of red that's in the hair. Beautifully done. And what a great mood here.
Yeah, no, this is great. I love the complementary color scheme in the skin, just the orange, just yellow, and the blue kind of popping off against each other. And then even in the background, you kind of have a little bit of orangish red, and then some of that green and I guess that's the wall, the banister. So I think that's fantastic. I love how you're doing this.
And thank you, everybody, for being so supportive of each other because it's a big difference to make work and know that people are receptive to that. I mean, it's sort of like if the tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it doesn't exist. I feel that way about my artwork oftentimes.
Mhm.
What about this one?
Oh, this is really cool. I love the kind of large, I don't know if they call them brush strokes, mark making. You can see like really big stretches of it in the cloth and then the forehead. And I love the color that you're getting in the skin, like at the nose, cheek, and lips. Those little touches of red and pink. I think that's excellent.
We have a super sticker from RB Dick. We appreciate your support, everybody. Those super stickers and super chats, they really do add up. And I'm a little stressed because our Patreon has dropped almost $400 over the past few months. And $400 is a really big chunk of money, everybody. So anything you can contribute, we are so grateful for. I really like this portrait because there's a very graphic quality to the lower right-hand corner here, but then beautiful areas here with the subtle gradients to show the volume of the face. Really nice work there, Lara. And then this is a very challenging prompt. We asked people to choose an obituary from the newspaper and create a portrait that is not just their physical appearance. And the research part of this prompt is really important, right, Jordan?
Oh, research is 100% essential every single time, in my opinion. It's hard for me to start without doing some form of research, whether that's reference, writing down stuff, whatever.
So Lara decided to do a portrait of Anne Davison, the first woman to sail the Atlantic Ocean. And you can see we've got these wonderful thumbnails, color studies on the right-hand side. And wow, I think this is just stunning.
Yeah, no, this is great. I really love just the color complement, that kind of coral pinkish kind of color. I think that's excellent. I love how you could see the reflection in the water of it too. And it's just kind of flowing along. I think that's great.
It's a beautiful composition. It's very simple. There's not a lot of stuff in it, but that was such a good choice, Lara, because now the person really pops out and we really focus on her as the focal point, but we also have a little bit of a hint of the structure of the sailboat, which is, of course, very important to the story. So congratulations, Lara, on finishing the portrait track, because this is not a small accomplishment. This is a ton of work, and people do it on their own. I mean, isn't that extraordinary? This is not somebody enrolled in a class getting credit. They're doing it totally on their own, and I'm blown away by that, Jordan.
No, it's always amazing. I mean, I think that it takes a lot to just be able to pursue something that you really want to do, and taking the time out and being consistent, because we're not calling you up like asking, hey, where's your track homework at? What are you doing? And so the fact that you or anyone else who's done a track or is going to do one can achieve that and accomplish great things is absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, Ariel, for your super stick. We so much appreciate your support. You're all incredible. Let's talk about the February Art Dare, which is mushrooms. We're going to ask you to create a 2D or 3D artwork with mushrooms. And oh boy, I have spent time with mushrooms. Have you ever gone mushroom hunting, Jordan?
No, but there used to be poison mushrooms that would grow in the front yard, and I would have to kick them off the property. That was about it. I was like,
these
nine,
are called, I think it's Amanita muscaria, but these are super poisonous. It's always the really pretty ones. And when we went to southern Utah, we oftentimes go mushroom picking in the mountains really high up. They were like, I'd never seen that many Amanita muscarias. It's like they were outnumbering the other ones that we usually see. And we've got quite a collection of mushroom photos that you can all dig into. And I actually got 3 mushroom kits. Have you seen these, Jordan?
I think I've seen some, but not the whole gamut for sure.
Who here has either gone mushroom hunting or used one of those mushroom kits? Because they're very satisfying. They're really, really fun. And here's a quick clip of me going mushroom hunting.
One of the best ways to improve your drawing skills is to draw from nature. Anything you would ever need to draw, you can find it in nature.
Oh, it's so cute. Look at it.
Complementary colors.
Red, green.
In nature, the compositions are ready to go. Those trees have done all the work for you.
Saturated colors, muted colors.
Those are super cute. Look, so plumpy.
Look at the gradients. One of the best ways.
And I think what's extraordinary about mushrooms is the range of mushrooms that exist.
Yeah, just in that or the last two slides, I think it was, where you just show like 8 different types. I know that's a very small percentage of all the mushrooms that exist, but it is really fascinating to see just the variety of them.
Seven Angelic says we have a lot of mushrooms here. Don't eat mushrooms you find unless you know what you're doing. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, some of these will kill you. So we went foraging with my father-in-law, and this is one type called Boletus edulis that is edible. But you know what's funny? This one is actually too big to be tasty. It's the smaller ones that taste better. These sometimes they'll have like little wormholes in them, and so there's different things you have to look out for, but they are so yummy. Are you a mushroom fan? Do you like eating them?
Not the way that you're describing. I'll eat mushrooms if they're like in a soup or like a portobello mushroom or something like that. But the way you're describing, I don't know if I would have that type of obsession.
Well, the mushrooms you forage, the Boletus edulis, they don't even taste like grocery store mushrooms. They taste like meat. They're really, really different. So tell us in the chat who likes to eat mushrooms, who does not. My husband is really funny. He's into mushrooms, but only if they're fried. He doesn't like them in any other format.
So
We
picky.
have Moistelle. We have a giant chicken's foot mushroom growing on a tree nearby. Someone picked the whole thing apart. Oh, that's such a bummer. I think they're so beautiful. And Amanda has a student that knows more about mushrooms than she does about people. I love that about her. And Snap Sketch Snooze says many cities have a mushroom or fungus foraging group. I'm in a spot where everything is under 3 feet of snow right now, though. Yeah, that's not going to happen. By the way, everybody, even though the registration deadline has passed for our February workshops, I'm pleased to say that they are all running, but we still have a few spots left. So you can still get in on this fantasy illustration mushrooms workshop. We pretty much accept registrations 2 days before the workshop, but get in. Like I said, there's only a few spots left. Information for that is in the YouTube video description below. What I think is funny about mushrooms, Jordan, is they can be so beautiful, but also really scary.
Yeah, I think probably because we're just not most people are just not used to seeing mushrooms every day, and so it's less common for for us to like really consider. And they come in so many different sizes, colors, shapes, varieties, and the unknown is scary. The unknown is very scary.
It is. And I love these images by Hakusai where they don't even look like mushrooms. They, I don't know, they look like little instruments to me. But anyway, the forums are definitely something to have fun with. Who here is watching The Last of Us? It's on HBO right now. I've been watching it. You ever played the game, Jordan?
No, I know of the game, but I've never played it or seen it.
So this is a good example that yes, they can be terrifying. It's a game where I guess there's this fungus and it grows inside people and they get all yucky and they attack other people. And I just don't think there's a lot of plants that have this many personalities all at the same time. And then they have these mushroom people and then their head splits and it gets all yucky.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, nice, right?
That's beautiful.
But then they're so cute sometimes.
You're talking about the biggest house. Well, yeah, these are cute. Very
Yeah.
different energy than The Last of Us, for sure. Very different.
Well, this is Leo Leone, who is one of my favorite children's book illustrators. I read all his books as a child, and I just love seeing mushrooms in a context because sometimes they're hidden, sometimes they're behind bushes. And so I think Jordan landscape would be a great opportunity here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, one of the things I think about is Alice in Wonderland and just all the things they're able to do with the nature and the flowers in that film. And talking about the Disney one from like 1953 or whatever. But yeah, I think there's so many things that you can do and play with your imagination when it comes to mushrooms.
Manette likes to look at them, hates eating them. Emily is recommending in a soup with noodles and miso. RB Dick says, saw a cooking show where the chef walking in the woods with the person looking for fresh mushrooms. And Anna says, mushroom, spinach, and kale curry. Oh, yum. That sounds really good. I like mushroom risotto. That's one of my favorite dishes. The other thing about this art dare, you don't have to make your artwork 2D. You can make it 3D. Isn't this fun?
Ooh, some variety.
Well, this is something you'll see all over Asia where they have rocks that have multiple colors, and then they carve the object to match the colors in the stone. So in Taiwan, there's a very famous jade piece, and somebody has carved it to look like cabbage. This is something you'll see all over those museums. And working three-dimensionally is just so much fun. And this is very manageable. If anybody here has Sculpey, which is polymer clay, dig in. And if you want to make a little diorama, I did a lot of those as a child. And we've got some not so politically correct mushrooms from Fantasia. Do you know the sequence?
I do know the sequence. It's been a while since I saw it, but yes, I do know. I do know.
It's not very nice towards Asian people with the pointy eyes, but I have such a soft spot for this sequence because it's so cute and the animation is so well done. So I still watch it even though it's not so cool as far as representation. Beautiful sequence, yeah. Yeah, Ginger says, I've been needing an excuse to sculpt more mushrooms. We definitely will provide that for you, Ginger. And we've got Yayoi Kusama, who is known for her infinity rooms, but a lot of people, I think, don't know about her drawings and her paintings, which have a similar playful, whimsical look to them, but are not the same thing as those immersive installations. How about Star Trek? Are you a Trekkie?
No, I don't know anything about Star Trek at all.
Really?
I know
Me
nothing. I've heard. I know the name Spock. And I know he does this, but I don't know what that means. Like that's it.
All right, it's time to know who here in our community is a Trekkie. I'm not, but my husband is a major Star Trek person. I mean, he doesn't go to conventions or anything like that, but basically anytime they release a new Star Trek thing, he has to watch it. He's watching this one right now that's really cringy and bad, but he has to watch it. It's like a compulsion. So this is a scene from Star Trek Discovery where I guess they discovered this mycelium network that goes through the entire universe. And I think mushrooms can have that cosmic look to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think about the movie Avatar, in 2009 with James Cameron, and they had a lot of different flora that were just beautiful. And I'm sure so much of it was based on mushrooms, but there was just colors and it was lively and it was really beautiful. It was a really interesting way to reshape the world.
We've got our own share of mushroom videos here, and these are the mushrooms that I picked in southern Utah. And I was able to do a lot of these quick watercolor sketches of them on site. And we actually picked so many, it was out of control. I mean, it must have been 50 pounds of mushrooms. You would not believe it. There were so many. And so actually a lot of these, we sliced them up and then dried them out. And so now we have bags of dried mushrooms and they're expensive. If you buy these commercially, dried mushrooms like that are not cheap. We also have this monotype tutorial where I use grocery store mushrooms, but they're really fun within the monotype context. So you can all check out those two videos. And the Art Dare Leap, if you want to do something more ambitious, create 4 artworks with mushrooms, but this is optional. To officially enter the Art Dare, you only have to do 1 artwork. Oh, we've got some ideas here. Lisa says stop motion mushroom. And we also have Ginger, I know, who wants to do some polymer mushrooms. And we really would love for people to hang out in the Art Dares channel in the Discord. Why is that?
I think it's great because everyone there is doing the same prompt, and you can encourage each other. You can see what other people are working on. It's sort of like the equivalent of being in the classroom and working in class, except you could be all over the world in your pajamas. It's great.
Well, I just think it's so lonely to make artwork by yourself. Nobody's seeing it. You're not talking to anybody. And when you post something in here, there's so many perks. You get seen, people give you feedback. Our community is super supportive. It really is a mutual exchange. And you get ideas from each other because you see somebody's interpretation, say, oh, wow, that's really cool. That's giving me an idea for that. So hang out in the Discord because I'm just so happy the way people work together. Community is everything as an artist. To officially enter, you can either tag us on Instagram with hashtag ArtProfDare, or if you don't have social media, we do have a Google form that you can find on our website. What's happening later tonight, Jordan?
Tonight, I'll be doing yet another Shadowboxer stream, but this time we'll be drawing some monsters from my world. So here's some sketches that you've seen that I've done before, and it's going to be lots of fun. Check it out on the Joe McFo Show. And I also got to say, we just hit 800 subscribers. So for those of you who are watching and have subscribed, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate y'all. See you at 6 p.m. tonight. Pacific time.
So the other workshops that still have a few spots, figure drawing, focusing specifically on proportions. We also have the fantasy illustration mushrooms workshop. Portraits, focusing on expressionistic color. You guys got to register really soon because there's not a lot of spots left. And the workshops are so much fun. I'm just having such a blast because the biggest perk, you're drawing, but I'm talking to you in real time while you draw. And there are not a lot of opportunities like that. Even here, when we do draw alongs, I'm not talking to you in real time. I hang out with you later in the Discord, which is fantastic. But this, one of my favorite parts of interacting with the community. We will be doing a Discord stage session right after this stream. That's where you get to chat with us on voice. Please meet us in the post live stream stage channel right after the stream. There are many ways you can support Art Prof. You can sponsor a video. And actually, everybody, I'm so excited because I found a wonderful artist model here in Salt Lake City. And I found this photo store. And they have, it's almost like a garage in the back. Like it's not that fancy, but it's a photo studio. And they're not renting it for absurd amounts. I'm like, okay, I've got the space to shoot. I've got the model. And Jordan, what I really want to do is film a video of him posing as if he were in a studio. Do you think that would be fun?
Oh, yeah, of course. I think you're kind of itching, just based on the way you're describing it, you're like itching to do it. So I think that'd be fun for you, and I think it'd be fun for the rest of the community as well.
Well, because we have time drawing videos and people really enjoy those, but I think most of the time drawing videos I've seen online with figures are stills. Have you seen one where it really is like you're in the classroom?
Very few, and I don't even know if they're on YouTube anymore. There was one that called Croquis Cafe, and they're like not on YouTube anymore, I think. So
yeah. So I'm looking for funding there, everybody. If somebody wants to step up and sponsor that video, I haven't done the numbers yet, but it's not going to be that expensive. I really need that help because if we are just losing money on those resources, it's very stressful on our end. You can also purchase an artist call, portfolio critique, statement editing, and brand new personal art curriculums. And Snap Sketch Snooze says, I'd like to go to live drawing. This would also be a good thing to know before going to live drawing. Oh, yeah. I think, Jordan, some people, for good reason, are really intimidated to go to live figure drawing.
Yeah, it can be scary at the first time, especially if you don't want to look like you don't know what you're doing. You don't want to draw attention to yourself. But in every situation I've been in, everyone's been pretty to themselves, honestly, with the exception of maybe the instructor, and they'll probably be like, "Oh, I've never seen before. What's your name?" That type of thing. So, yeah, don't be worried.
Thank you to our supporters. I'm so grateful. Those of you who stuck with us, oh my gosh, I cannot tell you the amount of burden you've taken off my shoulders, but it's still there. I mean, we keep going down. We're at 34, 33. And I remember For a while, we were at 3,800. We were holding there, and all of a sudden, it just dropped. So you get perks for being in Patreon. We have a Discord section for Patreon supporters. You guys get access to weekly voice sessions with the staff. Visit artprof.org. There's lots of content there that's not on YouTube. Use the search bar. If you think there's something you want to learn, chances are we do have a video about it. Our Prof has a podcast. It's available on Spotify and also on iTunes. And subscribe to our channel for more tutorials, critiques, and business tips. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.